They actually left the money behind.
I know. It is, uh, it's a massive lot to process, especially after everything leading up to that exact moment.
No, 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 hold on. I need to make sure I am reading these source materials correctly. Because if you're looking at the same notes we are, you have to be just as baffled. Our mission today is to figure out what on earth happened in the aftermath of this heist because I am literally losing my mind over here.
Yeah, it's a huge pivot.
I mean, they pull it off. They successfully rob the Stygian Bank in the black market. They literally outrun the black market guard. They have the physical cash piles of it, like untraceable millions of yen right there in their hands, and they just walk away from it.
That is exactly what happened, yeah. They left the duffel bags of cash sitting right there on the floor.
It is so incredibly frustrating. I mean, think about these girls for a second. The school is over 900 million yen in debt. 900 million.
It's an absurd number, yeah.
They are working these grueling part-time jobs. They are constantly scraping by, and they finally have the solution to all their problems right there in a bag, and they just drop it. That is like winning the lottery, taking the receipt, and throwing the giant novelty check into a wood chipper.
Right. It definitely defies all conventional heist logic. You don't usually see the crew, voluntarily abandon the score.
Yeah.
But if we actually look at the mechanics of the decision, specifically Hoshino's reasoning.
I don't even know if I want to hear Hoshino's reasoning right now. I'm sorry, I'm so frustrated on their behalf. If you're in that situation, I know you would have taken the money. I would have taken the money. Anyone listening to this right now would have grabbed the cash. Why is leaving the money the quote-unquote right move here?
Because it's about the psychological threshold. Hoshino's the one who persuaded the rest of the group to leave the cash and only take the documents. She drew a very specific line in the sand for them.
But they already committed the robbery. They literally burst into a bank.
I know.
They're already wearing ski masks and swimsuits, which, okay, that is a whole other conversation. But my point is, how on earth is taking the cash the line they won't cross? They're already bank robbers. The crime is done.
Right, well, the act is done. But there's a fundamental difference between what they did and what they become if they actually spend that money.
What do you mean?
Hoshino didn't want them to cross the line from being desperate students backed into a corner to becoming actual hardened cartel members.
Oh, come on. Cartel members.
Seriously, think about the psychological toll that takes. If they pay off their school's legitimate debt with stolen black market cartel money, what does that make them? What did that make their school?
I mean, debt-free?
But at what cost, right?
Yeah.
Once you fund your existence with stolen money, you aren't an academy anymore. You're just another gang. Hoshino made a desperate split-second call to protect their identities, their souls, basically.
Protecting their souls while actively wearing a ski mask inside a vault.
It's a very fine line. But you have to remember, they didn't leave empty-handed. They took the ledger.
Right, the paperwork. Because when you risk your life to rob a heavily armed bank, what you really want is their filing cabinet.
But that ledger matters so much more than the cash. If we unpack what that ledger actually represents, the cash is just a distraction.
How? Please explain this to me because I am still mourning the loss of that money. How is a stack of paper more valuable than millions in untraceable black market yen?
Let's connect this to the bigger picture. Why were they at the Stygian Bank in the first place?
Because they needed money.
Well, no, they didn't just pick it at random out of a phone book. They went there because they realized something completely infuriating. They saw their hard-earned debt money, like the money they've been legitimately paying to their creditor, being funneled directly into this specific black market bank.
Wait, so the money they were already paying?
Yes. The ledger proves exactly where their money is going. It tracks the flow of their debt payments right into illicit black market activities.
Okay, wow. When you put it like that, that actually makes my stomach turn.
Yeah, it's pretty dark.
I mean, if you're listening to this, I want you to really put yourself in their shoes for a second. Imagine you're Sarika. You are a high schooler. You are working a miserable, exhausting shift at a ramen shop. You're serving noodles for hours on end. You're getting yelled at by customers. Your feet are aching. You smell like pork broth constantly.
And you're doing every bit of it just to save your school.
Exactly. You are sacrificing your youth. You hand over your meager paycheck to pay down this insurmountable debt, believing you're doing the right thing. And where does it go? It doesn't go to some legitimate banking institution. It goes straight to criminals.
Right into the underground.
Your ramen shop wages are funding black market weapons and thugs.
It completely invalidates all their hard work. It's a total violation of the social contract they thought they were participating in.
It is. It's absolutely sickening. Okay, I'm actually starting to see your point about leaving the cash. Just slightly. Because if they had taken the Stygian Bank's money and used it to pay the debt,
They'd just be handing the stolen money right back to the people they stole it from.
it's a closed loop.
It's exactly.
Paying the debt with stolen money from the same people who are laundering your legitimate money, it just puts them in a different kind of trouble. They wouldn't be solving the problem, they'd just be spinning the wheel faster.
Yeah, they would just be feeding the exact same corrupt beast.
Hmm.
The ledger was the only way to figure out why they are in this mess to begin with. The cash was just the bait. The ledger's the map to the real problem.
Okay, so they read the ledger, they follow the map, and this is the part of our sources where my jaw actually dropped.
Oh, yeah.
Because I was looking at this thinking, okay, they're going to find out some local street gang is behind it. Maybe the helmet gang's boss is running a racket.
That would be the standard expected story progression, right? You beat the low-level goons, you track the money, you fight the local boss.
But the ledger completely flips the script. The documents reveal the mastermind isn't a street gang at all. It leads straight into a corporate boardroom. It's the Kaiser Corporation,
A massive mega syndicate.
a multinational conglomerate, which is a terrifying escalation.
It really is.
How are 5 high school girls supposed to fight a mega corporation? It goes from a teen heist story to a corporate espionage thriller in 2 seconds. I was expecting a turf war, not a hostile corporate takeover. How do you even fight that? You can't just punch a corporation.
Well, this raises a really crucial question about what Kaiser actually is and how they operate. Because Kaiser isn't just a bank holding a mortgage.
Don't tell me.
If we look at the structure revealed in the documents, they have Kaiser Loans, which legally holds the school's debt. They secretly operate the Stygian Bank in the black market to launder the funds. But they also have Kaiser PMC, a private military company.
They private military for a corporation.
Yes, it's total vertical integration,
Yeah.
but weaponized. They control the legal finances, they control the illegal shadow markets, and they have an actual standing army of highly equipped mercenaries to enforce their will. They are everywhere.
Okay, vertical integration. No, hold on, stop. If you start sounding like a Wall Street analyst explaining corporate monopolies right now, I am going to scream.
Wait, what?
We are talking about kids.
I know it sounds overly clinical.
It's terrifying. These are high school girls. A few days ago, they were arguing about buying dumbbells and figuring out who had library duty. Now they are up against a PMC and a corporate board of directors.
Yeah, the scale of it is insane.
It's so fundamentally unfair. It is like they brought a slingshot to a drone strike.
It is the ultimate David and Goliath scenario. But in this version, Goliath owns the bank, the government regulators, and the military. It's actually very reminiscent of historical company towns.
Company towns.
Yeah, like back in the Gilded Age, a mining company wouldn't just employ you. They owned the houses you rented, they owned the grocery store where you bought your food, and they paid you in company scrip instead of actual dollars.
Oh, wow.
So every cent you earned went right back to the company. You could never leave because you never actually built any wealth. Kaiser has essentially turned the entire Abydos district into a company town.
That makes perfect sense, and it makes me so angry. Because the girls thought they were just dealing with bad luck. They thought, oh, our school is just in a tough spot financially, but if we work hard, we can fix it. But it's not bad luck at all. The game was rigged before they even sat down at the table.
Not even slightly bad luck. It's a highly engineered trap. And this is where the ledger's real value comes in. If Kaiser is the mastermind, holding all the cards across every sector, then the debt itself must be examined under a totally new light.
You mean the 900 million yen?
Right. Do you remember what the bank teller told them earlier about the repayment schedule?
Yeah, the teller said that at their current rate of payment, it would take them 309 years to pay off the debt. Which, when I first read that, I thought it was just a joke.
Right.
Like, it's just a funny, exaggerated number to show how poor the school is.
That's exactly what it sounds like at first.
Mhm.
Just a trope about ridiculous comical debt.
Mm-hmm.
But when you realize Kaiser Corporation is behind it and you see the mechanics of how they operate that number, isn't a joke.
It's a feature.
It is a mathematical certainty designed to crush them. The debt was never meant to be repaid.
Oh my God.
If you look at how compound interest works on a principal amount that large, it outpaces any possible legitimate income. The interest alone grows faster than Serica could ever earn working at the ramen shop, even if she worked 24 hours a day for a century. It's mathematically impossible by design.
Wait, wait, wait. So you're telling me they were never supposed to win?
Never. The system was designed so that winning wasn't an option.
That somehow makes everything worse. It makes it so much worse. I am devastated for them.
It's predatory lending taken to its absolute extreme. Kaiser doesn't actually want their money. The monthly payments are just the mechanism to keep them compliant. What Kaiser actually wants is for the school to inevitably, mathematically default.
So they can take the land.
Exactly. They want the Abydos district itself. It was a scam from the very start. The 900 million yen debt is just a weaponized legal fiction to justify a massive land grab.
I can't even process the cruelty of that. All those shifts at the ramen shop, all the penny pinching, all the stress, the arguments, the sleepless nights, and the physical danger they put themselves in fighting off local gangs. It was all for absolutely nothing.
Nothing but keeping them busy.
They were trying to bail out the ocean with a teaspoon, and they didn't realize the ocean was being pumped in by a corporation.
It's a perfect analogy. They were fighting a war of attrition they had already lost before they even enrolled in the school.
It's just so sadistic to let them think that if they just worked a little harder, if they just saved a little more, they could save their home. Kaiser gave them false hope just to keep them docile and distracted while they finalized the paperwork to steal the ground right out from under them.
Which brings us to the psychological impact of this revelation. Because when you piece all of this together, discovering this truth, it completely breaks them.
It absolutely breaks them. And honestly, it broke me a little bit too just reading through it.
You're talking about the scene right after the reveal where they are back at the school in the dusty club room.
Yes. Because from a narrative perspective, you expect this to be the moment where they rally, right? The classic underdog turnaround, like, oh, we found the true villain. It's Kaiser. Let's go get him, team.
The power of friendship prevails against corporate greed.
Exactly. You expect the dramatic music to swell. But there's no big heroic speech. There is no plan of attack. They just give up.
The dejected students just call it a day.
They literally just pack up and say, let's go home. It is so quiet. It is just pure, crushing exhaustion. If you're listening, I really want you to think about how utterly exhausting this must feel for them.
It's a very grounded, deeply human reaction to systemic trauma. You don't get angry right away. You just deflate.
You push yourself past every physical and moral limit. You cross boundaries you never thought you'd cross. You put on a mask. You hold up a bank. You outrun an army of guards. You leave millions of cash on the floor for the sake of your principles and your prize. Your grand reward for doing the right thing is a piece of paper telling you that your entire existence is being squeezed out of reality by billionaires in suits.
It's a profound realization of powerlessness. What's fascinating here, if we take a step back, is the sheer irony of their situation. The girls thought their biggest problem was the Katakata helmet gang shooting at their school, or maybe a lack of funds to fix the roof.
They thought their problems were tangible, physical things they could shoot at, or bills they could pay off.
Right. But the real enemy is an entire corrupt system that owns the very ground they walk on. You can't shoot a legally binding contract. You can't punch compound interest.
You can't blow up a corporate loophole. It's insidious. It is like fighting a ghost that also happens to own your mortgage.
And this is why leaving the money was so crucial, looking back at it with this context. If they had taken the money, Kaiser would have simply branded them as terrorists or thieves.
Oh, wow.
They would have sent in the PMC legally under the guise of security and taken the land immediately. By leaving the money and finding the truth, they avoided giving Kaiser the excuse to execute them. They at least know what the actual battlefield looks like now.
But they don't even have a battlefield. They are just 5 teenagers sitting in a dusty room in a desert. I mean, I am desperately trying to find the silver lining here, but it's just so bleak.
It is remarkably bleak.
Yeah.
They are completely and utterly trapped.
Trapped. That is exactly the word for it. They are trapped in a cage made of legal jargon, shell companies, and endless debt. And the absolute worst part is the cage was built around them before they even realized they were inside it.
It makes you wonder how long Kaiser has been manipulating this situation. How deep does the rot actually go? If they've been pulling the strings on this one school, what else do they control in this city?
I don't even know if I want to know at this point. I really don't, because every time they pull back a layer, it's just more unfairness. It's just more adults manipulating kids for profit.
It is a harsh reality to wake up to. The world isn't just indifferent to their struggle, it's actively engineered to destroy them.
It makes me want to scream. I mean, seriously, what are they supposed to do now? Wake up tomorrow, go back to class, go back to the ramen shop. Hey, sorry, I'm late for my shift. I was just busy realizing that my entire life is a corporate write-off and my future has already been liquidated.
The emotional whiplash from the adrenaline of the heist to the crushing weight of systemic inequality, it's a massive burden for anyone to handle, let alone a group of students who just want to save their school.
It's too much. It is genuinely too much. I keep thinking about the physical bags of cash. They left the money. They left the actual physical money that could have bought them, I don't know, a month of peace, a week of not worrying about the helmet gang.
Yeah.
But no. They did the right thing. They took the high road. They took the ledger to find the truth. And their reward for doing the right thing is finding out that their entire world is a rigged game.
It really challenges that old saying that the truth will set you free. Sometimes the truth doesn't free you at all. It just shows you the exact dimensions of yourself.
Oh my God, don't say that. That is incredibly depressing.
But it's true.
But you're right. That's exactly what the ledger is. It's the blueprints to their own prison. And they broke into a bank, risked their lives, and gave up a fortune just to steal it.
The irony is inescapable.
It really is. I don't know how they bounce back from this. I don't know how I bounce back from this. I feel like I just got hit by a truck made of corporate law and compound interest.
It definitely leaves a heavy silence in the room, doesn't it?
Yes.
When you realize the scope of what they are actually up against.
Yeah, it really does. Because when you strip away the anime tropes and the bank heists, you're left with this really unsettling question for all of us. If a mega corporation can rig the rules so perfectly that fighting back legally is mathematically impossible and fighting back legally just gives them the legal excuse to destroy you entirely, where is the exit?
It makes you wonder who actually controls the board.
Exactly. How much of our own autonomy is just an illusion inside someone else's ledger? I mean, 5 kids against a mega corporation that wants their land and rigged their debt for 309 years. Like, I'm just going to be staring at the ceiling for the next hour, thinking about those duffel bags of cash sitting on the floor of the Stygian Bank, just sitting there while they walked away into a trap they can't even punch their way out of.